Broads Media.
Okay, so the Phillies start the Eagles weekend off with a big fat loss, and they make it miserable as I'm trying to process how fucking awesome Sunday's gonna be. The Phillies truly punch us in the gut like that? Come on, Rob. I'm sorry, but this Cristopher Sanchez thing is crap. There's no way that you can yank him after 5 innings pitched of scoreless ball. Yeah, Bryson Stott made an amazing play in the first inning that definitely kept runs off the board, but my guy was doing his thing, and it's stupid with the doubleheader coming up on Monday. You cannot be burning guys out. There's one big snowball, so don't tell me after the game that you're not too worried and you're not looking ahead. You have to. That's part of your job. That's part of your duty, is to realize what you do today and how that impacts you tomorrow and how that can impact you on Monday. This is a Friday game. You're telling me Monday's doubleheader did not cross your mind at all, knowing you'll need bodies? How come if someone else had 5 innings pitched on 82 pitches, they would get the leash on this team? Taiwan would get that extra inning, no doubt about it. And I got to give a shout out to Bob Wankel, who tweeted this: in 14 starts since June 17th, which is when Cristopher Sanchez was recalled, he has a 3.09 ERA with the 1 whip. He's one of the better pitchers in the National League since he was brought up back to the majors. What are we doing here? How does that not deserve the ball again? And if he screws up, fine. But I don't know if he can do it yet. And my guess is he can. I might be wrong, but Sir Anthony couldn't close the door. Now, he hasn't allowed a home run in all of August. His last home run gave up was July 30th. It's not telling the full story because there has been some very uncomfortable outings from Sir Anthony Dominguez, but I thought this was controllable. Even though your offense only scored those 2 runs. Of course, Trey Turner comes back from being a dad and he did not skip a beat. And of course, Bryce Harper is able to deliver to give you a 2-0 lead, but it evaporated so quickly, and I think you could feel the whole team go, holy hell. Come on, man. And the way it happened, by pulling someone who was in his bag, it's stupid. Let's find out before you already rule it and before you come up with the conclusion in your head that Cristopher Sanchez can. You know what? You know what irks me to death? That it's precautionary. They don't want to ask him to do too much. I'm sorry. Do they have a 20-game lead on the next team in the division right now? Am I missing something? They don't have the luxury to try and strategically manage this thing. We have to be the number 1 wild card team. That has to happen. I don't want to be on the road. What, JT Real Muto? You know you'll get something from him there? So you think, oh, well, you got one of your best players to perform away, so maybe we can get him away. Maybe that's what the Phillies are thinking, because it sure seems that way, coming up with that nonsense prior to the game, because you know they had it all laid out. We can't get Cristopher Sanchez past this spot because we want him to be rested. He can't throw too many innings. You have to get to the postseason. You're not automatically in it. We're in a fight. You don't have space. There's no separation. Look, if you were 30 games up, if you're 26 games up, if you're 20 games up, of course, there's smaller numbers that this would make sense. I'm being obnoxious to be a jerk off. If you are the Braves and one night you pull somebody early and you give me the big picture statement as a manager on the podium, fine. I may not agree with it, but I can live with this. I can't live with it. He's been extremely consistent. Just above a 3 ERA. Seriously. Since he got called up July 17th, 14 starts. If Zach Wheeler had a 3.09 ERA in 14 starts, you know what we're saying? So what are we doing here? I hated it. And I know it was pre-planned. I don't like their mentality. I don't like what it says. They're not good enough to start earning free passes. They don't get the benefit of the doubt. Not on this one. It's stupid. You still needed to score more. Trey striking out in the 7th. Had a lot of guys on. And then, yes, the most troublesome at-bat of them all was Nick Castellanos swinging at the first pitch and grounding out the shortstop. A nice, easy play over at second base, and the inning is over. Part of me wants to believe that the greatness of Nick Castellanos happens to be because he has a certain personality on the diamond. And part of his personality happens to be he'll be trigger happy and let it rip no matter what the count is. He'll be aggressive early in the counts and he'll take a hack at it. That's part of what makes Nick Castellanos so intriguing and so dangerous. With that said, though, Bryce Harper was walked so easily. Nothing was competitive. If that was by default, then maybe it was because, well, Bryce Harper is a special demon and they figured they'd take a crack at it with Nick Castellanos, even with the lefty on the mound. Maybe they still figured that was their best opportunity. I don't know. You have to make him earn it more, man. You do. You have to make him work there more. And I even looked up his splits just to see if there was something that maybe he could really dig his feet into the ground with. If he was hitting 280 on the first pitch and 255 when he at least saw one pitch in the count, then I could justify it more. But nothing that crazy. He's hitting 256 on the first pitch with 13 home runs and 264 with 9 home runs when sees more than just the one. And when he was asked post-game what he was thinking with Nick Castellanos in regards to moving him down the lineup and seeing if he'll bat somewhere else, you got a good old no comment from the skip. So basically, that's telling you to keep your eyes out because when the lineup comes out tomorrow for the 6 o'clock game, Aaron Nola taking the bump, it might be moved. That lineup could be out of order. Nick might have a new interesting spot, a new wrinkle. And after all the double plays hit and now this, whatever. That's why I don't really waste my time with where everyone's batting as long as Kyle Schwarber's batting 1, Trey Turner's batting 2, and Bryce is batting 3. That's what I definitely deserve, I think, as a Phillies fan on most nights. Anything else you want to flirt around with something new and try and grab onto some momentum or see if you could spark something, light a fire under somebody's ass because they're playing well and you want to reward them. Or maybe Rob's mad at Nick and the no comment was, come on, dude, you've been around baseball a long-ass time. That's not the spot. I could live at you swinging 98% of the time. This just happened to fall in the 2% and you need to recognize that that was that moment. So I might have to hit you 6th. I might have to switch you with Bohm, and Bohm's been knocking in a ton of runs for this team. So what if he was the one with the bat in his hands with bases loaded in this game? Are we winning 4-3? Is it 5-3? Do we blow the game open in the 7th inning? And now we're not even talking about a disappointing loss on a Friday heading into a weekend. Need the offense to pick it up. Need Rob Thomson to stop using Matt Strahm for more than just one inning. All right, let's try it again. No, I don't like trying it again. With Matt Strahm, it just pisses me off. I hate it. I despise it, yet they lean on it way too much for my liking. I don't know what more you need to see. If you need him for a third, then grab him, let him cook, and then that's it. Go to someone else. You wouldn't be in this predicament if Sanchez goes 6, if Sanchez goes 7. He had a pitch count of 82. 82. And he had his change up tonight. Rob mentioned not having changeups in previous outings, and maybe that's why there was a fear level that hit, because they were afraid that there was some correlation with possibly innings pitched, how well he was doing, the pitch count going up over X amount of starts for him. Maybe they got nervous, right? Maybe there was something with the changeup. My first thought was, if Cristopher Sanchez, and it is true that his changeup hasn't been as sharp in previous outings other than tonight's, the light bulb goes off. Wait 1 second, please. We've been getting Cristopher Sanchez without his changeup? What happens when he gets the changeup? What happens? Is he even more entertaining? I didn't know if that was possible. I didn't think that was a damn thing. Shame on me. Smack me in the face. I'm going to smack you in the face. I don't know if that's a great transition at all, but let's start over. My friends at MyBookie are fantastic. As a bettor, you demand perfection, and MyBookie delivers NFL, college football, and a brand new cash out system that gives you options to bet and win all season long. First 2 legs of your parlay hit, cash out early and place another bet or let it ride for the chance at a bigger payday. Join the MyBookie family for an entire season filled with daily odds boost, same game parlays, and super contests. This season, MyBookie has a no-strings-attached cash bonus that lets you deposit and withdraw quick. Use promo code BROADS on a deposit of $50 or more, and you can receive up to $200 in cash instantly to your MyBookie account. So bet your deposit amount once and you're ready to withdraw at any time. Again, that's promo code BROADS to claim your cash deposit bonus. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. Make sure you click the link down below in the description and sign up using the promo code BROADS. All right, let's go to the phones. You upset? You pissed off on a Friday night? You have too many cold ones? I may have jinxed this team, and I may have thought I was jinxing the team before I did. I went for the Miller Lite crack at 2-0. Though we're going to win this game, I want a nice cold one tonight. Miller Lite, when they had the lead. Appreciating the greatness of this squad. Expecting a win over a team that you're better than. And they blew it. They're leaking oil in a couple different areas, unfortunately. Runners in scoring position. Now, I'm on Rob's side with this. That stuff does work itself out. You just have to keep playing. So I don't harp on it as much. It's been here more, and it's been more relevant than I would like. It's happened a ton, and you think it could be a little more cleaner, a little more cleaner. It'll be okay long term when they rake. You just have to catch this team on a hot run. Some areas are leaking. It's ironic that tonight we're discussing a starting pitcher who did very well when I feel that this team doesn't have the starting pitching, and it was completely the opposite tonight. Yet Strom doesn't go out for a second if Cristopher Sanchez goes farther along, and he could have. If he's at a hundo, there's nothing you can do about it. But this was a controllable mistake as an organizational view. And I brought up Bob Wankel, and I'll bring him up again because I hit him up during the game, and he brought up, how come there's no fire for that athlete, that competitive nature of wanting the ball? You'd think that sets in at some point. One, Cristopher Sanchez doesn't have that type of resume to get in the face of Rob. If Max Scherzer, and say what you want about his career and some of his numbers and some of his outings, if someone like Verlander or Scherzer or Kershaw or even Zach Wheeler wants it, they have more of a leash. Cristopher Sanchez, he's not there in his career to bark. I would admire it and I would appreciate it. And I think even Rob, if it didn't cross the line, wouldn't even be upset with what that could say to a clubhouse and the meaning behind it coming from him. My counter, though, is, are we getting so young with some of the athletes now that this is all they know? If this is what you're taught when you're in the minors, and this is how you're brought up playing AAU, and you're paying all this money for all these programs, and you're playing college baseball, whatever route you take, if this is how they manage you, then it's all that's really been in your brain. It's the only thing that you've been absorbing. That's how you've played baseball since you were 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then started taking those strides to be more serious with it. So if that's the case, they don't know what the 90s were like. And they don't know what going 120 pitches deep is on an outing-to-outing basis. You know? Okay. Your turn.
You know, Broads, I'm pretty even keel when it comes to losses. You know, it's baseball, it happens. But I'm pretty fucking pissed off about this loss. First of all, Rob, why are you pulling Sanchez again? What is the problem with him? Is there something we don't know? The guy can't go over 80 pitches? He's dealing through the whole game, and you pull him out after 5 when you just overutilize your bullpen in 2 series. And you've got nothing but a bunch of hard, important games with no days off for the next week, and you dip into the bullpen early for no reason. And you let Sir Anthony give it up, and then Nicky, what are you doing, man? You have lost the ability to make the choice on the first pitch. You need to be told, you cannot swing on the first pitch. I don't care what it is. So many times recently, these bullshit little dribblers in the infield that ruin a chance to get some runs across. The guy throws nothing but disgusting balls to Harper, and you come out and immediately swing at a piece of shit. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Get it together.
I like the passion. I'm not telling Nick Castellanos to chill, though. Just execute. He can hit 13 home runs on the first pitch. He can hit 256 off the first pitch. If you're more selective and you actually execute, no one's bitching. If it's a double in the gap or if it's a home run, we're feeling great. Nobody puts their hands up and say, I was wrong, it was a first pitch. No one would feel that way whatsoever if he cranked one into the seats, which he has the capability of doing. And so does Trey Turner all of a sudden. Holy hell, man. He looks so tremendous. You almost just forget because he was so bad for so long. Because he forgot to play baseball and he was making sloppy joes on a night-to-night basis at shortstop with simple, basic plays in the field. It has all turned around and he's going to mess around and get 30. He could hit 280. Oh, yeah. By messing around. Someone threw that my way on Twitter. I just took it and ran with it. It's the damn truth, though. I loved it. And when yelling at Rob, because he's the one in power, that's who we express our pain to. At the end of the day, screaming about yanking Cristopher Sanchez is more about the Phillies. And you have to bring that frustration with the Phillies, but we also are aware that it's not going anywhere. This is the state of the game. So what do we do with that? My only point is, well, okay. See, to me, I'm looking at a manager pulling a starter who has really established himself for a long time now. It's a long time. He was called up in the middle of June. We are now in the first week, ending the first week in September, and it's been sustained, legitimate pitching. It's been excellent. The whole arm thing, and we need to protect his arm. With the big week coming up against the Atlanta Braves, and with being in a super competitive wild card race right now, it looks to me like they're taking it for granted and playing with a very questionable hand. You're playing blackjack. You're being shown a 5. You hold. And you see that the dealer has a face card. All right, it's a queen. You got a 5, they got a queen showing. What are we doing here? That you're standing. Does that reference make sense if you're a blackjack guy? To me, I think maybe it does. I feel you have to hit there, and instead you're standing. You have to hit and take the risk. They don't take the risk in this baseball organization with this arm right now, and they're probably living in PTSD because of how they chose to run with Michael Lorenzen with the no-hitter, and now they have their backs up against the wall because he hasn't been doing well at all since the no-hitter happened. That started to make a little bit more sense there. I think I got stuck with the metaphor. And sometimes I just say metaphor, just meaning I was combining two different things that you can make, see the same vision and make the same story, but it's not actually a metaphor. It's some other term. I'll shut up. What's next?
What's up, bros? Look, man, I got to tell you, today's game was bullshit. I don't know any other way to tell you or any way to explain it. What I saw out there was pathetic. 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position, and you just changed pitches when the bases were loaded, and you start off with a 4 count or 4 pitch walk, and then Castellanos comes to the plate and swings at the first pitch and ends the inning. Like, what the hell, man? I know that they are still leading in the wild card race, but I mean, this crap has got to stop. And I don't know what Rob was thinking with pulling Sanchez out when he was cruising pretty good. You got to send Dominguez down and just let him work that out.
That's not what you have to do right now. This is reality with Seranthony Dominguez. He's going to pitch. You'll need him. You desperately need that right-handed arm. You have to go to him, and he has to perform. Last year's run, and each year is different, think about how crucial he was. Without him, you're not close to the result that you had. You need Seranthony. He didn't allow a home run in the last month. July 30th was the last date. He's not getting sent down. This is your pen. Alvarado, Craig Kimbrell, Seranthony Dominguez, Hoffman, Matt Strahm, Gregory Soto. We're in September. It's about execution at this rate. This is your team. You can't hide from them. What you can do is let your starters go deeper. So then someone like Seranthony isn't used tonight and then needed again in 2 nights. Think about if he wasn't used tonight and if you need him tomorrow, let's see how tomorrow's game plays out. What if you go to one of these again? And then they could have had the off day today. So they'd be more well-rested. You're so afraid of arms. Can't use them. Protect them. Yet you're willing to use 5 billion of them in a random game here on a Friday night. I say random. I say that sarcastically because that's how you view it. Hey, go ahead. Here's all these arms. Instead of winning the game in a wild card fight. Win the game. Let the guy who hasn't allowed a run throw the ball more. Just an idea. It's not complicated.
Not a game or a series you can afford to lose. If this Marlins team is struggling, you got to bury them and end their playoff hopes. Actually, unfortunately, didn't get to see much of the game. I saw the Trey Turner home run, then my power went out.
Oh.
But man, you just can't lose to a team like this because now you got to win the next 2 or 3 or it's a failure. I mean, you wanted to sweep this team, but, the Phillies in September, they're going to do this. But I still believe in them. We got to get this 2 out of 3, and then we'll work with Atlanta. Go Phils.
It is funny bringing up the September months. There is a part of us that need to realize this was never going to be easy because, well, the Phillies do this. At the same time, when is enough enough? At some point, you have to imagine that they learn. They learn how to do it. And keep in mind that this Marlins team, at the end of August, starting August 31st, they won a game against Washington and then strung together about 6 wins in a row. And 7 of their last 8, I'm just running this off super quickly in my head here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 7 of their last 8 they have won. So they've been riding some rhythm, but you'd think a team like the Phillies, who in my eyes are a better baseball team, can stop that from continuing. It's on you to beat them down and stop them from winning. Let their belief fizzle out because they're losing by 8 runs, 7 runs, and 6 runs on consecutive nights. The series isn't dead yet. But there's no doubt you have to win this series. Anything else is a spit in the face. And you know we don't take spits in the face very well. That means we're squaring up. Might hit you with a right. Maybe a little jab. Been working on the jab. Maybe a little jab. I don't want to show my cards too much. All right, everybody. I love you to death. This ruined the Philadelphia Eagles Friday night heading into their first game. The Philadelphia Eagles weekend on a Friday night, we get screwed like this. Oh. All right. I love you guys. Talk to you on the next one.